It's October 16, 1962, a crisp morning in Washington, D.C. President John F. Kennedy sits in the Oval Office, staring at a set of black and white photographs. At first glance, they look nothing unusual, but to the trained eyes of U.S. intelligence analysts, these photos reveal something chilling. Soviet nuclear missiles, hidden just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. Those missiles could literally obliterate American cities in minutes. And in that instant, the world teeters on the edge of nuclear war. Just days earlier, U.S. spy planes had flown over Cuba for routine surveillance. But when the photos came back, they told a story no one wanted to believe. The Soviet Union, led by Nikita Khrushchev, had secretly installed nuclear weapons in Fidel Castro's communist Cuba. Kennedy calls together his top advisors, the Executive Committee of the National Security Council. For 13 intense days, they debate one impossible decision after another. Should they launch a military strike and risk all-out war, or impose a naval blockade and hope the Soviets back down? Every move is a gamble, with millions of lives at stake. In Moscow, Khrushchev faces his own nightmare. If the U.S. attacks, the Soviet Union must respond or lose face. The world's two nuclear giants are now locked in a deadly stare-down. Across the globe, families listen in fear. People build bomb shelters, stockpile food, and pray this isn't the end. For the first time in history, the survival of humanity depends on a few men in secret rooms. Then, on October 22nd, Kennedy speaks to the world. He announces the naval quarantine of Cuba and warns that any nuclear launch from the island will mean full retaliation against the Soviet Union. The world freezes. American warships surround Cuba. Soviet ships sail toward them. Missiles are armed. Fingers hover over launch buttons. And yet, miraculously, no one fires. After days of back-channel messages, Khrushchev finally agrees. He'll remove the missiles from Cuba if the U.S. promises never to invade and secretly withdraws its missiles from Turkey. The deal is struck. The ships turn around, and the world exhales for the first time in 2 weeks. The Cuban Missile Crisis didn't just end a standoff. It changed diplomacy forever. Hotlines were installed between Washington and Moscow, so the world would never come that close to nuclear Armageddon again. For 13 days in October 1962, humanity stood at the edge of annihilation and somehow chose peace.